Welcome to the podcast. This is Cola, and I'm with Walker. And we're missing somebody, but he should be fine. Anyways, fun fact. Let me turn off this so the audio could be better. Fun fact. In ancient Greece, you were considered rude if you didn't offer your guests a bath and clean clothes.
What context does this have to be in?
Nothing is this. This is ancient Greece, and they have to offer their guests a bath and clean clothes. I bet you they weren't busy. What was that?
What if you're being robbed? Like, this fool taking all my stuff, and I got to give him back now. Damn,
Maybe.
that sucks.
Well, I mean, considering now, like I think when you have a guest over, you always, you give them a drink or a beverage, but maybe you just bring them in so they don't stink up the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm probably assuming that
what would your policy be about people?
What was that?
Oh, I was gonna say, what would be your policy about people like taking baths at your house?
I would, if they're not going to be staying overnight, don't take a bath in my house. If you're not going to stay, are you talking about like if they were staying for a month? Yeah, definitely take it.
I would encourage it. Take more showers.
Take more showers, right?
No, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it would have to be pretty circumstantial. Like you would have to have gotten dirty here at my place, or you would have to be staying for more than one day. Something that would constitute you having to take a bath or a shower, I should say. If you came to my house and you took a bath, I'd feel a little weird about that.
Yeah, especially when you're spending 6 hours in the bath and then get out, dry up, and then leave.
Yeah, it'd be fucked up. You just walk out and then it's just leave all the hair in the drain and shit. Motherfucker. But cool. That was Cola's fun fact. I mean, was it fun for you? It's kind of fun for me, but not that much.
But I really enjoy that.
Well, my fun fact is the first person convicted of speeding was going 8 miles an hour.
What decade was this?
1896.
They actually documented this. Was he on a horse and cart?
So according to Guinness World Records, the first person to be charged with speeding was Walter Arnold of the English village of Paddock Wood, Kent. Arnold was spotted going 4 times the speed limit in his 19th century Benz, but since the speed limit at the time was just 2 miles an hour, that meant he wasn't going too fast by today's standards. The constable had to chase him down with his bicycle, issuing a ticket for 47 euros, and earning him the speeding ticket.
The guy might as well have been riding a bike if he's going that slow. If the sheriff's constable is like chasing him with a bike.
What if people start Naruto running and shit?
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, but isn't there like sprinters and stuff that can run that fast?
Faster than that.
Yeah. So it's just like for a car to be going like slower than a person.
I mean,
and it's like, it's not like the reflexes were a lot worse back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he was going too fast and it might hit some kid, or maybe the brakes were shitty.
Or maybe that driver had a fear of missing out on things.
Probably. Speaking of fear of missing out on things, that's today's topic is, have you ever had a moment, fear of missing, have you ever had a moment where you fear of missing out on things, so you go?
Mhm.
No,
We'll have to try
I
to
mean,
find a day where I don't lead us into a transition.
Was there ever a moment, Walker?
Yeah, plenty of times, man. Especially when you're young, because like you're confused and you're fearful of a lot of things already. You're unsure, so it's just like that's always going to lead to that fear of regret and that fear of missing out. So, I had plenty of those instances where it's like, when you're a kid and or yeah, when you're a kid and then like you hear about like parties and stuff like that go on in the neighborhood with people in your age group, and you're not a part of it. Like you always sit there wondering like, what are those parties like and stuff like that. So it even applies a lot to like college, like times during college where you don't want to miss out on the quote unquote college experience. And there's some validity to that, but it's like, I mean, life is really just what you make of it. Honestly, it doesn't really. I don't know. This is something I kind of like picked up on at a later point, but it's helped me to enjoy a lot more moments more genuinely. But anyways, yeah, when things like that were happening, especially this is more prominent in college than most times, because like in college, I had 3 jobs and I was going to school at the same time, and my time at school was also just like a lot of study time. So I didn't give myself a lot of time to like party and just kind of get together at social events. So a lot of parts of me always wondered, like, what if I just didn't have to work and just went into like a lot of that stuff and just started partying a bit more and just like getting to know people more. Things could have been a lot different, but I mean, that was my main fear of missing out. What do you got, Kola?
Yes, I think a lot younger, I did have a fear of missing out. But I mean, it's not even with high school, but probably when I went to college. I think I mean, this is probably before like Facebook and all that stuff and people were posting things up. But like I didn't do any of my high school activities like you normally do. Like I didn't go to prom. I didn't go any home games, pep rallies, no school events, nothing. So I never went. So yeah, I never went. So I was like, do I care? But then the thing is like once Facebook came around and then people start posting up their shit, it's just like, holy shit, they're having the best time of their life, right? And then you realize, oh shit, I'm missing out on these opportunities, all this fun and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but once you get older, right, you don't really give a shit anymore. But like I definitely did. Like I wanted in college, like I always wanted to go out, go do things, hang out with friends and enjoy a sip and stuff like that. And I generally I show up early and I leave late. Right. I show up
So,
early and I leave late.
do you feel like social media like helped you in terms of highlighting those moments for yourself, or do
No,
you
I
think it made it
rarely,
worse?
I rarely post things up about anything I do, and I don't generally tell people what I do. Right. I just do it.
But I mean, do you feel like social media like like made it better or fucked things up?
For people or for,
You.
I would say it's probably for the worse. Uh, I think you start to realize that all these are activities are going on, but you didn't get invited to the events. Right? It's like, oh, these activities are going on, and like, and people are doing it without telling you. Right. And that's the thing. Right.
Yeah. I mean, like the other thing too is just like I personally did not like how that stuff was like weaponized in social contexts, where it's like some people like deliberately made it a point that you were not invited. Like, and
Yeah.
I seen like fucked up shit like that. I'm like, dude, that's not cool, nor is it worth it. I'm just like, what are you trying to accomplish, or what kind of point are you trying to make? Because obviously it's not one that's productive for you as a
Right.
person. More like
I
you just
I think there was one time where I got really pissed because my thing is like, oh, I had a free day, blah blah blah. I want to go get pho. I post up on Facebook, hey, is anyone interested in getting pho? Nobody replies back, right? And nobody replies back. Only my one friend who replied back. We went to go get pho. The crazy thing, the people I normally hang out with was already eating pho after I told them that, hey, I want to go eat pho, right? So I saw my thing, and then I was like, motherfucker. Motherfucker. I saw them there too, and they were leaving. I genuinely think they did it on purpose. So yeah, I'm no longer their friends anymore.
you give them the eye.
No, I think that was the last time I saw them, and then I think that's the last time I saw them. It's like after that social media thing, I think I was completely done with it. So
Fair. But it's kind of like how I'm like, Cola, you should come visit me. You're like, all right. And then I don't get a visit. And then like some other dude goes up and he's like, I'm visiting this dude. You motherfucker.
um but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is also kind of why I'm just like, I can't do social media just because of the environment is just too volatile for my mind to kind of like want to for me to kind of want to wrap my mind around sometimes, where it's like everyone's just like glorifying this idea. And I'll give an example. It's that one of my wife's friends, they literally show up just to say they were there, and maybe like touch whatever thing that they're saying that they're doing, just to say that they did it, but it's never really truly experiencing it. So it's like it feels super hollow, and it's just like, I mean, yeah, you're living the life, question mark, but are you really like living it? Like, are you genuinely living it for yourself, or you're living it because like you want to be the one who did it first, or the popular one, or whatever? And it's just like yeah, and it does create that illusion of like fear of missing out, because it's just like, oh, guess what? I went here, and it was so fun. And it's like, oh, really? What you do? I went and did this. But the people that were actually with him, like, no, they actually just stepped into the picture and then just walked away. And it's just like, and it's just, I don't know, that kind of stuff rubs me the wrong way, because it always perpetuates the idea of something false that's never really there. And so it's pretty much, and the weird thing is some of these people are not self-aware of that. And like like realistically, this might just be me, but it's like, realistically, you should be aware of what you're doing, like, from time to time. If you're not truly doing something, you shouldn't be saying that you did it. But it's just in the social media age, I don't know. It's just we're rewarding the, like, before we used to reward the ones that were able to do it and, like, you know, give them acknowledgement and praise. But now it's like to the point where we're rewarding the ones who say they did it, you know. And that's kind of like a weird thing that's just developed over the years. And it's not just like a younger generation, it's also like our generation too. And it's just like it's hard to tell what's like real anymore. So yeah, and that's sort of where the idea of fear of missing out just kind of, it's just like, fuck it, I don't really give a shit anymore. You know, I don't got time for this. Because like either you did it or you didn't. Like if you did it, then you'll have a story, and you'll like you'd have a compelling story, and then I'll hear, like, you'll be able to tell it to me, and it wouldn't change like each time you tell it.
Oh, this happened. This happened. Yeah, I mean, that sucks. I mean, I don't think people started developing that until social media arrived, right?
Mhm.
And then the other thing is like, uh, oh, people are sharing stuff, and then they kind of ruin the spot for people, right?
Yeah.
Let's say this is your favorite spot. This is your favorite spot to eat brunch, and then you share with everybody, and then everybody else finds out, and everyone shows up, and now your spot is blown up. Like you go out to eat and stuff like that, and you have to wait in line when you didn't have to. But you know, it's
I
just those
mean,
spots, and then like, I mean, same thing with traveling, right? When people blow up one spot and then ruins it for everybody, right?
mhm. Oh, the worst ones that bother me is like when people go to like national protected like monuments or whatever, or like, you know, like I think it was a girl, like an Instagram model or whatever. She just went into a restricted like botanical garden, just trampled all over that shit, and just like
Oh,
goes for a picture like like on those flowers, just for that acknowledgement. And it's just like, and the worst part is just like the social media gives like these idiotic movements like a platform to be acknowledged on. So although like, you know, the the moral and ethical standpoint says it's bad, you still have the X million number of people that are still acknowledging it, like, oh, that's really cool, because they don't know the story behind it.
so quick question. So when you're on vacation, how many photos do you take? I take a lot. I take a lot of photos. I obviously do.
A lot of photos. I take a lot
But
of
I don't.
photos.
But I don't post them, right?
There's there'd be no need for me, because it's just like, you know, for me, I leave the platform of having an actual conversation and getting to know me as a person, like, to that. It's just like, yeah, we like I went out and did this, and this is what we did. Like, one of my buddies was and I were talking about, like, you know, ghost stories and like haunted places, and I was telling him about the time that you and I went to like Prague
Uh,
and stayed at the haunted hostel, and yeah, and I had pictures from it, so it was just like, but it was my story to tell and kind of build on, and that's what made gave that gave those pictures meaning, but also just gave extra, I want to say content, but like, mm, it made it a more fulfilling conversation to be had, because it was genuine, you know, it wasn't sugarcoating shit. But I mean, what about you, Cole?
You know, I kind of like, I do. The crazy thing, I do take photos. But the crazy thing, what I do is like, I don't use, like Facebook or, what's some other ones? But yeah, but like, I do post my photos on Google. I post on Google, I forgot what that, Google Maps, right? All those images are being populated by users and stuff like that. So that's where I post my stuff at. But the crazy thing, I can do it anonymously. So a lot of people are seeing my photos, but it's not attached to me. So yeah.
I mean, I think the most I'll ever put up is like pictures of my pets, because they're, for the most part, they're harmless, because my pets don't care if they have a following. You know,
Like meow,
they don't-
meow, meow, meow.
Swipe left,
Just
swipe
swiping.
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, my pets don't care if they're ugly or stupid or whatever. So it's like, you know, if anything, it just makes for more entertainment for myself. Because there's some pictures and some pictures in there still that make me laugh to this day. But yeah. Oh, another fun fact, apparently,
Oh.
is that people who watch cat videos often experience more depression.
What?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it actually does depress people.
When you watch more cat videos?
Yeah.
Have you seen
There's a weird science behind it.
Is it because they're already depressed and watching it, or it's just
Kind of, but it's I think it's like, I can't remember what it was. I saw the headline and then like I didn't dive too far into the article, but I think it has something to do with the fact that it's a lack of productivity.
does that
People get
include all
involved in that
pets,
stuff.
or does that include all pets, or just cat videos?
I think more cat videos.
Okay.
Just because cat actions are a bit more randomized than dogs are. Although, I mean, I saw this one video where it was fucked up, but you see a turtle slowly like walk up to a dog and then like bite him in the testicles. Like it's because the turtle's slow, so it's all in slow motion. It's like
Did it eventually
screams.
grab the balls?
Yeah, the dog screams and like runs, but it's just like so funny because it's just like he didn't do anything to avoid that shit. And it was all happening in slow motion. Yeah, it's what was that? But yeah,
Oh, you know,
I
I think
mean,
probably also think is fear of missing out is probably it probably includes gadgets, all the trends that are happening. I think that maybe that kind of falls under that too, right? Like fear of missing out those big moments. No, it's like peer pressure. It's like peer pressure.
you know,
No,
on that spectrum of things, I think I was the one perpetuating that rather than experiencing that, because I was one of the few kids that that had pirated games.
pirated games.
Yeah.
Was that Super NES?
Yeah. So back then we had ROMs, like for the console. So it was just like, pretty much I have all the games. Let's be like, yep, I just got the new whatever, and I got it for like super cheap, and I could play
Where
it
were you
all I
getting
want.
it?
Huh?
Where did you
Oh,
get
back
it?
then when Blockbuster was a thing.
Wait, you got illegal games from Blockbuster?
Yeah.
What do you mean you have illegal games from Blockbuster?
Because, well, it's pirated, so it was just like you burn the games, onto like a floppy
Oh,
disk.
so you rented the games and then burned it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, and this was like way back when I was a child. So it was just like not understanding like that shit was illegal because I'm just like, well, if it's available and they sell it to us, then that's pretty much it.
So you're just ripping off the CD, whatever was on the CD.
Yeah. So it was like all like there pretty much was no there was almost like no game that was out of my grasp. So it was like really it was I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I'm like, man, I can just get discounted games. I can play this shit whenever I want now. Like, hell yeah. But
So I'm guessing this. I never had a PlayStation, so I don't know.
it's not PlayStation. It's Super
Oh, what was it?
Uh,
Super Nintendo?
yeah. You ever seen
How
it?
did you make a copy of it?
You burn it onto a floppy.
What did you use to burn onto a floppy?
So it's a device that went on top of the Super Nintendo. It was
Okay.
like Game Doctor, or there was one called Game Doctor, and there was one called Special Partner. We had the Special Partner, and like basically it had like a little cartridge slot on both sides, but a Super Nintendo slot and it had a Famicom slot. So you just stick the stick it in the Super Nintendo slot, and then you put in an empty floppy, and then you have a function to actually like record the content of the game onto a floppy. So if it
Oh,
was
and
a
then
bigger game, yeah. So if it was a bigger
oh,
game, like say like a big Japanese RPG, then sometimes it would take more than one. And then when it took more than one, you recorded it like floppy after floppy after floppy after floppy until like the game was complete. But the twist to that is that now when you want to play that game, you have to load each floppy in order to actually like make it work. So
got it.
that's how you get the
Okay.
full game uploaded. But that shit was so dope that it was like that was that's better. That was better than the Super NES of today, where you can just hack it and then like just play them all like that. Like I personally felt like that experience there kind of like made the best parts of my childhood. So with that, I was the one perpetuating the idea that like I got the latest and greatest fucking games, and y'all can't do anything about it. you know, and if I don't like you, you never touching this shit.
So so the other people want to go get this device that or you didn't tell them that you had it.
No, I had it. That like they knew I had it, but
But
it's just like
did they say, hey, like where did you get it so I can do the same thing?
uh,
No.
I just told them you can never afford this shit. So, I mean, I was that kid, man. I was just like pretty much like, nah, you can't have this shit. Like, I got the best shit in the world right now. Like, I was that egotistical about it. And, but obviously, you remember what it was like to be a kid and have like a Super Nintendo and stuff. And then like,
Oh, I had the original and that was it. The original, and I skipped all the way to the N64.
but even then, like, you knew what it was like to have that system and then had the game like want the games that went with it, and for someone to get that shit so easily, it's like you knew there had to be some pain there, or some level of jealousy there. So I was pretty much like the dude that was perpetuating that.
I think the one thing I wanted as a kid was actually SNK. SNK had a SNK, SNK had a portable. That's the one I wanted. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
What is it? SNK Pocket?
Neo Geo or something.
Oh, Neo Geo, yes. I wanted a
Yeah,
Neo
I
Geo
saw
because
that. I saw that before, and I was just like, "This thing's cool." It's like you have like a full-on Sonic game on here, or something, and then like then I found out that the battery life really sucked.
Yes, I saw and I wanted. I was like, oh my god, it looked better than the
Yeah.
Game Boy. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So and that was a cool thing where you had like that level of graphics portable. So they were actually ahead of their time. But it's just their execution was really bad. But yeah, it was that I was very much that kid that held like looked down at my nose to other people when I had that device.
Is this a fear of missing out or just fear of just showing off?
Yeah, no, but see, that was me creating the fear of missing out because I had that game system where everyone could play all the games, but they it's like they had to be in it good with me in order to get access to them.
Okay,
So
fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah, but you know, I mean, like, have you ever experienced that in your adulthood?
You know, probably the new car, right? Because Toyota's planning to release that new the new Corolla, and the problem is that it's a limited edition. They're not gonna make a lot of them, so then it's just like fuck. There's so much hype around it, right? But the thing is, like right now they're gonna jack up the price to maybe $70,000 for this one car,
Yeah,
and it's like,
everything's like doubling, tripling because of the war.
yeah. So it's like, so yeah, so it's so yeah, and that's
But
the only thing.
yeah, and see, like, the weird thing here is just like if you're gonna increase the price that much, how are you going to maintain the demand for it? Because
You do,
now people can't afford it.
you do. What do you mean by maintain the demand? I mean, yeah, I
It's
think
just like you, for example, you want one, but you can't, like, with that kind of price, you wouldn't want to buy it. So
you wouldn't want to
how are you
buy,
gonna get people
but
to buy it?
I also think that people are gonna buy it at that price, right? I think what a lot of people are gonna do is just buy it, put it as an investment, put it in the garage, and then wait for 10 years and then sell it off for more money. It's gonna happen.
I don't know. It's a car, dude. Like, if it leaves a lot, it loses value. That's how
No,
I see it.
not with, I mean, if you look at it now, like even the old classic Hondas and stuff, people are buying it for a lot more thing. Like
Used car market, yes, I understand,
yeah,
because
but
they have parts that can be sold and like used still. But
yeah, but I think people are buying it, same it, because it's, the thing is like, what I also think is like, these are probably going to be the last gas guzzling cars until we switch over to electric. And I think people are going to be missing that gas experience and that manual shifting experience. So I think people buy it now for like 70,000. It might be cheap. It might be cheap now, but compared to what people are going to pay in the future. So
I have my reservations about that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, but is that the only thing you kind of like had that fear of missing out on?
Yeah, I think that's probably because, and the thing is, it's going to be a collector's item. So, right. But then I also don't want to, I don't want to pay $70,000 for a car. And I don't want to
Yeah.
get screwed over by the car dealerships that are jacking up the price for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it might be just a regular Corolla.
I mean,
But the thing is like, they're only releasing the cars in manual. So I don't think, I mean, a lot of people might be too afraid to get a manual because a lot of people don't know how to drive it.
yeah, because it's becoming a lost art too. Isn't that the crazy thing? Like, there's no need to drive manual anymore because we have the paddle shifts. So it's like eventually it's just going to be removed entirely, and then like with electric cars, you just have a little switch knob. That's it, the lever, and then like that's all you're going to need to drive. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just fossil fuels are amply available, so it's like I don't see a reason for them not to be used still. But who knows? The future like is changing very, very quickly too. So yeah.
I mean, just think about it when I mean we're old enough to switch over from the regular flip phones to smartphones, right?
Mhm.
Remember the earlier smartphones, they were shit, but then once I think 2 or 3 years later they were great, right? Because I think the first phone I had, it didn't hold the charge for more than 2 hours. It was the it was HTC Thunderbolt.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, well. I mean, Cola,
Wait,
anything you get in front of me, you brag the shit out of it, even though it's like terrible.
it was all so
Trying to
so
create that fear of missing out for me. Like, oh, this is the best shit ever. Like, hold on, I gotta charge it again.
so yeah, I mean it didn't last for more than 2 hours, so we put everything down dim. But I think originally when we got it, it was the excitement because it was like it was the newest thing that was on 4G. Um, but yeah, it was the newest thing on 4G. It was quick, and I think my coworkers had the iPhone, and we were comparing speeds and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I personally believe in smartphones myself. Uh, I also believe that even though they're smartphones, I also wanted to believe that bar and flip phones would not really truly go extinct because there's some people that still use them, and they're actually really, really handy as just regular phone, and then just maintain a long battery life on it too. But I mean, they had a lot more utility in the market. So, but yeah, but even now I experience like fear of missing out from time to time because it's just yeah. I mean, I think growing with a new world of possibility, there are a lot of things that I can experience, and it's just like I kind of have to pick and choose each one, and so having those options to a lot of moments where I'm just like fear of missing out. So it's also about like, do you go or do you not? Because if you go, there's going to be an experience there. You don't know what it is, but it's like it's your decision to be a part of that experience. If you choose not to go, then what you're left with is just okay. You could be relaxing, but now you're fearing missing out on, or you're not fearing missing out on whatever was happening. So live your life. And with that, we